Hello and welcome back to continued coverage of Super High Roller Bowl 5. The final table is going on behind us, and I found someone who has a very strong rooting interest for one of the players at the final table. Before I get to you, Dylan, please turn around. There it is, repping Stevie444, the Steven Chidwick fan club is in full effect. Dylan Linde, however, won the World Poker Tour 5 Diamond final table on this very set just a few days ago, and he played an incredible hand against his opponent, Milos Skrivic. Dylan, was that the biggest bluff you've ever made in your life?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at least dollar-wise, it was probably one of the most important moments of my poker career, and it felt like the right time, but it was a huge bluff. I was very happy when he instantly folded instead of thinking.
So this is an episode of Running Back with Remko, and we're going to dive into this hand.
Doesn't look like Skrivic could have one of the better hands.
Oh, he does it. God, I love it.
Senses
what a
it.
play.
Take it from the start.
So to start this hand, we've been playing a pretty sedate heads-up match where there hadn't been much 3-betting pre-flop. I open with ace-10 offsuit with ace of clubs, 10 of hearts. Comes 7-4-3 with 7-3 of hearts, 4 of spades. And he checks. He'd been defending pretty much every big blind, so I figure, you know, yes, I'm going to have the best hand a lot, but this is a reasonable hand to check back and maybe represent some rivers, try to get a showdown. So I go ahead and check back. I had made it 550 pre, he had called, so there's like 13.5 in the middle. Turn brings 8 of spades, I believe, which brings backdoor flush draw. And he chooses to lead for about half pot, which is pretty congruous with things that he'd been doing, you know, with both like some bluffs and value. So my hand's definitely worth the call at least, because you can have spades, some bad hearts, etc.
At this point of the hand, did you know enough about his game that you had an idea of how you wanted to proceed on the river?
Yeah, after seeing the way he played a bunch of rivers, you know, we had played a big hand earlier where he had made a large bet with a very kind of thin value range, so I knew that I could represent some rivers and get some folds. I also knew that, like, Milos and I had been talking throughout the tournament. I knew that he was a high-stakes player. He definitely had some bluffs and some, you know, so I thought that this was too high up to not continue, and that I could have some plans on some rivers to represent a few hands with my hand for various reasons.
And then on the river, he bets, like you told me before, about 125% of the pot, 3.5 million, a massive, massive bet. All the players on my level were probably thinking, oh my God, that is so many chips, let's get out of this hand. However, you did something else.
Yes, on the river came 6 of hearts, which completed a 1-card straight draw, but it also completed the flopped flush draw. And the interesting thing about his overbet here is that when I have the 10 of hearts in my hand, I block a little bit of his value in that, you know, I block a lot of like heart draws containing a 10, but one of the most important factors is that I unblock his most obvious bluffs, which are like ace 1 heart, king 1 heart, queen 1 heart hands. And so in my mind, I thought that it was much more likely that I would have these hands and get to the river, plus I could still have some like big straight hands that might want to shove. And once he chooses this large overbet size that I'd only seen him choose a couple times throughout the tournament, it really felt a bit odd to me. Like, I'd seen him do it both narrow, like I mentioned, for value with ace's hand against me earlier, but I'd seen him also choose it known and called. So at this stage, I just felt like when I know that he can bluff with these, I don't know that he can do it for value with an extremely wide range. So I decided that the best move was just to shove here. And luckily, my heart didn't explode.
And this is the winner of the tournament, so it went well. Milos folded. This guy took home 1.6 million and his first World Poker Tour title. You guys stay tuned for Poker Central for more coverage.